Alright, this is notes 7.6. I'm going to apologize if there's any announcements or bells going off or if you hear noise. I am making this during my conference period. Alright, so find the slopes of the lines containing each segment. So we have segment AB. So I'm rising 1, 2. So rows 2. I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going to simplify to a slope of 1/3. Now, some that aren't remembering to simplify their fractions, so be sure you're simplifying your fractions because we do work with fractions in their simplest forms. All right, let's look at BC. So going from B to C, so my rise is down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so -6. And my run is 1, 2. -6 over 2 is -3. CD, so I'm going down 2, so that's a -2. And to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To the left is a negative. -2 over -6 simplifies to 1/3. And then DA, my rise is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And my run is to the left, so it's going to be -1, 2. 6 divided by -2 is -3. All right, so what can you conclude about AB and CD? So we have AB and we have CD, and they both have a slope of 1/3. So we can conclude that they are parallel because their slopes are equal. All right. What can we conclude about DA? So DA and AB. Well, they're not equal, so they're not parallel, but they're flipped reciprocal. So they are perpendicular. Because their slopes are opposite reciprocals. Opposite reciprocals. Okay, remember that's what we talked about in our last lesson, which I know it's been a while, but that our parallel are going to have the same exact slope, while our perpendicular will have opposite, which means going from positive to negative or negative to positive, and it'll be a reciprocal, so flip it. So 1/3 flipped is 3, or 3 flipped would be 1/3. All right, so let's look at some examples. Find the slope of a line that would be parallel to 2x minus 3y equals -12. Our problem is we don't have this set up in slope-intercept form. We want slope-intercept form. We want slope-intercept form. So I'm going to go ahead and solve it. Oops, sorry. We want y by itself, so we're first going to subtract the 2x. This cancels, leaving with -3y. On this side I have -2x. I'm going to put my x first just so it's already in that mx plus b. To get rid of that -3, it is attached to that y, which means it's multiplied. So we're going to divide. When we divide, we have to remember to divide the whole thing by -3. I still have some of you who are forgetting that we have to divide that whole thing. So on the left, I'm going to be left with just y. And some of you like to distribute this out. It's not really distributing, but it's the same concept. So it's going to be -2x over -3. And then it's going to be -12 over -3. And so this is going to be 2/3 x. And 12 divided by, -12 divided by -3 is just +4. So the question wasn't what was my equation, is what was the slope of a line that would be parallel. So again, when you remember, parallel means they have the same slope. So we're going to have a slope of 2/3. Find the slope of a line that would be perpendicular, so we're looking for perpendicular this time, to 4x plus 5y equals negative 15. Well, we want it in slope-intercept form again because we need to find our slope. Right now it's not in slope-intercept form, it's in standard form. So I'm going to subtract my 4x from both sides. It leaves me with 5y on the left and negative 4x minus 15. Alright, I want to get rid of that 5, and it's attached to the y. It's the coefficient. So it is multiplication, so we're going to undo it, which is division. If you need to show that, giving that divide by 5 to both of them, that's okay. But this is going to be negative 4 divided by 5, which is negative 4/5 x, minus 15 divided by 5 is 3. But my question was perpendicular. Okay, so for perpendicular, it needs to be the opposite, so it's going to be positive, and it's going to be its reciprocal, so it's going to be 5/4. Okay. All right, let's flip to the other side. Given the equation 4x minus 2y equals negative 10, write the equations in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, of the lines that pass through the point 8, 10 that are parallel, and then we're going to have perpendicular. So our first step is we want to put it in that slope-intercept form. Right now it's in standard form. We want to put it in slope-intercept form. So 4x minus 2y is negative 10. So I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. This leaves me with negative 2y. This is negative 4x minus 10. We're going to divide, because even though there's a negative here, sometimes we take that as subtraction, but we don't have anything to subtract it from, so it's a negative. So we have negative 2y. So to undo that, we're going to divide. These cancel. Negative 4 divided by negative 2 is 2, so 2x. Negative 10 divided by negative 2 is positive 5. Alright, so the question was parallel. So we're going to start first at looking at that slope. We want it to be parallel, so we want it to be the same slope, so that eliminates B and C. But we have the point 8, 10. So that's when my y minus y1 equals m x minus x1 can come in. So we're going to do that real quick. So I have y minus, I put an equals, 10 is equal to my slope, which is 2, x minus my x value, which was 8. So distribute 2x minus 16. Add 10 to both sides. 2x minus 6, which matches A. Remember, there's some other ways we could have done this. We could have plugged that point into both of these equations and saw which one was true. We could have looked at the table. So if we have the point 8, 10, and I know I have 2 over 1 as a slope, so change in y over change in x. I know my y is going to change by 2, so that would have been 8, and my x would have changed by 1. But that would have taken me quite a while to get that one, so probably not the best way to work on that one. So definitely multiple ways to work that problem. But what about something that's perpendicular to that line? So we know that, so it's going to be perpendicular. So perpendicular, we're going to have the opposite, so it's going to be a negative. It was a 2, so now it's going to be negative 1/2. Okay, so we have our slope is now -1/2. Sorry, I warned you there'd be bells. So we're going to have y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1. But this time, we're going to have, instead of that 2, we're going to have that -1/2. So we're going to distribute that -1/2. -1/2 x. I'm going to add a line change sign so they're both negative. Times a negative is going to be positive. And half of 8 is 4. Add 10 to both sides. Y equals -1/2 x plus 14. Which is going to match answer C. Sorry, lost track of it. So C was perpendicular and A was parallel. All right, so let's look at number 4. Given the equation x equals 3, write the equations of the line that pass through the point -7, 2. They are parallel. So I'm going to first notice that this is a vux, so it is vertical. So to get a parallel line, we're going to want our x equals our x value, which is -7. If we want it perpendicular, that's where we're going to come to our sorry, went blank for just a second. And it's going to be horizontal. And so we're going to want the y value for that, which is 2. All right, no homework this weekend. On Monday, we'll do the 7.6 assignment to go with it. If you have questions, please email it to me.